Hey everybody, Ryan here at etrailer.com. Today on our 2015 Nissan Pathfinder, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the CURT T-Connector vehicle wiring harness with a 4-pole flat trailer connector. This wiring is going to allow us to connect our trailer to it and illuminate all the trailer's lights. Now, that's not only going to keep us safe while we're going down the road, it's also going to help keep us legal. Other motorists that are traveling behind you too are going to appreciate the fact that your lighting works and they're going to know what your intentions are. Now, what kind of separates this kit from some of the other ones on the market is that it's all plug and play. You're just going to plug directly into your factory connectors and you're not going to have to worry about running any wiring up to the front of the vehicle or anything like that. Now, in my opinion, once you get this harness in your hands and feel it, you can just tell that it's very well built and durable and should last a very long time. Now, this harness is going to put out quite a bit of power, and that's going to allow us to run all of our trailer lights, whether they be LED or even incandescent. Now, as far as exactly how much, all of the lighting circuits, this is going to put out 7.5 amps. Which that's good because that's going to guarantee us that we're going to use pretty much just about any amount of lights that we want. Now, the cap is also going to help prevent any corrosion, and it's also going to double as a hook. And what I mean by that is if you don't happen to have any bracketry to hold this in place, you can wrap this around your safety chain loop, put the cap on, and store it that way. Now, in my opinion, a better way to store this would to be with a bracket just like this. Now, our hitch has a tab already on it to mount this. You'd mount something like this and you'd put your connector through there and it would store like that. However, if your hitch doesn't have a tab like this, there are kits available on etrailer.com that'll set you up to be able to use this. Now, something I do want to point out is that this kit won't come with absolutely everything you need to get it 100% installed, such as the bracket, which is an extra, but it would be nice to have, and it also doesn't come with a self-tapping screw, which you do need to ground out the ground wire. Now, many of our customers wrote in and said, aside from that, this works perfectly and exceeds their expectations. To begin our install, we're going to be working here at the back of the car, so we're going to go ahead and open up our hatch. Now we're going to open up our rear cargo door like this, and there's going to be 3 10mm screws that we're going to have to remove. One there, one here, and one here. And once we have those out of the way, there's going to be this little center panel. We're going to pop that out and pull up like that. We're going to set this stuff off to the side for now. Now we're going to remove this threshold. So the first thing we're going to do is take a flathead screwdriver, and here in the center there's going to be a little small panel. Just pop that out and kind of get behind this threshold and pull up. And it'll be held in place with a few clips, and that's what that popping noise is. It's the clips releasing. Kind of just carefully work it. There's what those clips look like. Now, underneath that threshold that we removed, there's going to be 4 white plastic fasteners that we're going to have to free. Now, I'm going to use a trim panel tool, and it makes it a lot easier, but you can use a flathead screwdriver too. To get those loose, you simply just go underneath the panel and pry up like that. And once those are all free, you can then grab our cargo assembly and just gently pull up on it. And what we can do is kind of just flip it backward, just like that. Here on the driver's side, there's going to be a little panel just like this. Now we're going to need to remove it. So to do that, you'll flip up your tie-down hook, and there's going to be a little black plastic cover there. Just take a flathead, kind of pry up on it, and that will expose a 10mm bolt underneath it. So we're going to remove this one, and then do the exact same thing for the tow hook right in front of it. Now with both of those screws out, you can take the panel and kind of tilt it up like this and slide it back and set it off to the side. Now at this point, you can get your hand back in here and find the connector that we're going to be working with. However, for video purposes, so you can see what I'm actually doing, I'm just going to remove this bracket. To do that, there's going to be 4 10mm bolts just like this. Now we can locate our connectors. They're going to be right in this area here. We're going to have 2 connectors that we're looking for. They're going to look just like this. One's going to be black and one's going to be white. Now, before we plug our new harness into our factory connectors, we do need to do a little prep. Now there's going to be a handful of relays that come with our wiring, and we need to plug these into our new harness. So we're going to take 2 blue ones, and the blue relays are going to plug into the white ends. So you just line them up and push them into place. You can give it a light tug just to make sure it's on there good. And they only go on one way, so you don't have to worry about putting them on backwards or anything like that. And then the brown relay is going to go with our brown plug. And this is something that you want to do before you actually plug this into the factory connectors, because it'll make life a lot easier. Now something else you can do before you completely plug it in is put on this sticky foam. Now you would wrap this around your relay, just like this, on all 3, and not only is that going to help protect it, it's going to help keep the sound down if these happen to click together. But for video purposes, we're going to pass this step. Now the kit will come with 2 extra blue relays, and this is going to be used for if your vehicle does not come equipped with a factory tow package already. So to check and make sure if you need these, you're going to come underneath your hood, and behind the driver's side headlight, you're going to see a black box like this. Now you're going to open this up. There's 2 little tabs on each side you kind of pull out on. And as you can see, we already have ours from the factory, right here and right here. If you do not have these 2 blue relays, you're going to take the ones that come with the kit and plug them into place. Now these are going to install the exact same way that we put them on the harness in the back. Now we can plug our new wiring harness connectors into the factory ones. The white connectors go to the white, and the black will go to the black. And once again, these are only going to plug in one way. Just line them up, and push them all the way down, just like that. Now that I have everything plugged in, I just went ahead and used a zip tie that came with the kit to secure it up and out of the way. Now we're here underneath the vehicle on the passenger side, right above our exhaust. And what we're looking for is this clip right here. Now we're going to plug the rest of our wiring harness from our kit into that. So now you don't have to do this, but I am, just to give us a little more room, I'm actually going to pry this away from its mounting point, kind of pull it down a little bit. Now on the connector, there will be a dummy plug that we'll need to remove, and that just helps keep the terminals protected. So what I found that helps is to get a pair of needle nose pliers. We're actually going to push this tab in, and while we have it pushed in, grip the dummy plug and just pull downward like that. Now we can take the rest of our harness and plug it in. Now before we do that, I like to use some dielectric grease on the terminals just to help keep them protected from the elements. If you need some, you can pick it up on etrailer.com. Just put a little blob of it on there, and then it simply just plugs in. Once again, it only goes in one way. Just like that. Now we're going to have to ground our white wire with this pre-attached ring terminal. Now I'm just going to use a self-tapping screw to do that. You want to ground it to clean, solid metal. I'm just going to go right here on this bracket, but make sure you don't hit your plugs behind it. I went ahead and just ran our connector over towards the center of our hitch where it's going to be stored, and just secured the extra wiring with a couple zip ties that came in our kit. Now, before we focus on putting the inside of our interior back together, it's a good idea to test our wiring. Now, I'm just going to use a tester. However, if you don't have one of these, you can just use your trailer itself. So now I'm going to hit my left turn, my right turn, my brakes, and finally my running lights. Now that we've verified everything is working, we can put our interior back together. Now it goes back together the exact same way, just in the opposite order that we removed it all. And that'll do it for our look at and installation of the CURT T-Connector vehicle wiring harness on our 2015 Nissan Pathfinder.